Hey y'all, my name's Andrea and welcome to my channel. So for this video, I'm going to be showing you guys my carving process for printmaking. So I made two blocks. One is the key line, which for those of you who don't know, that's like the black outline or the outline that I'm going to be having for my prints. And the second is the actual color block. So that block I just covered with pink ink, and that's kind of the color because I didn't want it to be just plain white. And for that block, I also carved some little extra bits that would just stay white, just so they could serve as highlights. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna put the links down below for all the stuff I used, in case you guys are curious or want to check it out for some reason. I don't know. So without further ado, let's get on to the video. So all the products I'm using are from Speedball. There isn't any specific reason besides the fact that they were affordable and I could get it from a Michael's store nearby. So I'm using the 4x6 Speedy Carved soft block, which is like a rubber block instead of like the linoleum blocks. And this was just a little bit easier for me, specifically because I have issues with my wrist. So I just found this easier to carve. And I also used a small V cutter for most of it just because it's a very detailed design that I was working on. And then for one part of the carving, I did use a large U gouge just because I needed to get rid of a lot really quickly. So I'm actually speeding up some of these clips just because of how slow I was going. The amount of detail I put in was a little excessive for how big the block was, but I was really committed to it, so I just went really slow to make sure that I got all the details in and I didn't accidentally carve something that I didn't want to carve, because once you carve it, you can't really add it back in. So that's why I preferred going with the smaller gouge. The hardest part of this was definitely carving out the flowers and all the little details it had, just because the details were so minuscule and so jam-packed close to each other. So I did actually use an X-Acto knife for some of it, especially when it came to the areas where it was just very thin lines. The X-Acto knife helped a lot, especially because the small V gouge was just a little bit too big and not as precise as I would have liked. Overall, it did take me about 2 hours to carve this block, roughly, and the block after this was about an hour or so, so it was roughly 3 hours. I think a little bit more than 3 hours to do both blocks. So carving this block was relatively simple compared to the other one, just because I was dealing with very low details, just one big shape and some very small carving that I had to do. But for this one, I just worked around the actual outline, creating sort of a barrier, I guess you could say. And once I finished carving the outline, I very quickly just got rid of the excess rubber, and it went by relatively quick. I think most of my time was spent just creating that border and then carving out the small highlights that I wanted to keep. So once I started carving around my actual design, I still kept going with the small V gouge just because, like I said before, I didn't want to risk accidentally cutting something off that I didn't want to be cut. After I did that sort of barrier, I did go in with the large U gouge just to get rid of all of the rubber very quickly and just spend as little time as I needed. So I completely forgot to take a video of the finished Carve blocks. So here are some pictures instead. This is the keyline block that took a little bit over 2 hours, and this is the color block that was about an hour. Well, that's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it or liked some of it. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'll do my best to answer. And that's it. See you guys next time.